Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of 1990s Represent. We're starting off our sixth cycle of 1992 with an album. In this episode, we're talking about Rage Against the Machine by Rage Against the Machine. So their self-titled debut, an incredible, just hard rock album. Absolutely love this album. Probably one of my favorite albums of all time. It's got clear, very hard hitting political messaging to it. The instrumentation is just amazing. Tom Morello's guitar on this is incredible. I remember reading a interview of him where the unique sound of his guitar was actually not done by design. I think he was testing out a guitar, and from what I remember reading about this was a while ago. But there was like this weird like glitch, and that glitch is kind of what makes his guitar sound the way it does. And I think the people that were like demoing the guitar for him or showing him the guitar were like, "Oh, don't worry, that glitch will be fixed, like soon." And his kind of comment was like, "No, don't fix the glitch." So kind of like that weird, almost like record scratching kind of sound that you get off of his guitar is, like I said, completely not by design. But then he ended up liking that effect to the point where that's kind of how he wanted it to sound. And yeah, it just sounds incredible. It almost sounds, like I said, almost sounds like record scratching. And the way he plays it to do that effect is just really cool. But yeah, this is like their debut album. I have some notes here about it, and then we'll get to like the track list and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I'm used to going to the back of the notebook, but now we're in a pretty much almost a brand new notebook here. So, Rage Against the Machine, first released November 6th, 1992. Like I mentioned a second ago, this is their debut studio album. And recently I did pick up something, not this album on vinyl, but I did pick up a very cool Rage Against the Machine vinyl for Record Store Day. So I kind of have a love-hate relationship with Record Store Day. I've done it a few times in the past, and like I think like there's only been like one time where I actually got the records that I wanted. A lot of times, like if you don't get there like right away, your likelihood of getting the thing that you want is probably already out the window. A lot of times these records are released in such limited supply that like a store may get like only like one or two copies, if that maybe. So you kind of have to be there right away. You kind of have to also um, basically hope that your record store actually got what you ordered or what you wanted and things like that. So I actually did Record Store Day this year. I didn't do it the actual day. I did it like it was like a Saturday in April, I think. So I did it like the day later and went in, and luckily they still had the record that I wanted because I was kind of going in with the intention of getting. There's a new Rage Against the Machine record out, or it's a live record from their first tour, and I was able to actually pick that up. So went in there, and they actually had a decent stock of it still. So I think this one they ordered enough of it, and I think the record label, whatever record this is on, just also produced enough copies. So this is Rage Against the Machine live on tour in 1993. It's this was the Record Store Day exclusive for this band, and it's basically a selection of tracks from various shows on. I think it was their first world tour. So there is the back of it, and it's pretty much all songs off of this album because they hadn't put out Evil Empire yet. But yeah, so we have on. It's actually three sides, so it's three sides, and the fourth side is an etching. It's kind of cool. I'll take it out, let you see that in a moment. But yeah, again, these are all tracks off their debut. So track one is Bomb Track, which was recorded in Washington D.C. on March 5th, 1993. Then you have Killing in the Name, that's a classic from Orlando on March 17th of 93. Take the Power Back, that was recorded in Atlanta, March 23rd. Then you have the last track on side A is Settle for Nothing in Gainesville on March 15th, 1993. Then you move into side B, second side, which is Bullet in the Head on from Paris from February 8th of that year, February 8th, 1993. Then you have Know Your Enemy from Toronto, March 31st, 1993. Wake Up, which is absolutely one of my favorite Rage Against the Machine songs. Recorded in Philadelphia on March 28th, 1993. And then you move into side C, which is Fistful of Steel from Milan on February 13th. And then you have Township Rebellion, recorded in San Francisco on April 15th. And then you have Freedom, recorded in Chicago on April 3rd, 1993. So there's all the tracks there. And then you've got more information about, there's like some more stuff about the band. And let me see if I can get that to focus. There's some cool photos in here as well. If I can actually, let's see if I can actually line it up. There's that. And then there is, let me pull it down a little bit, there is that. And I will show you the third side of the fourth side, I should say, which is an etching. So it's not really a side you can play. But it's got, and the camera may or may not pick this up. But it says, let me see. It says failed, you've been tricked. And it's got like part of like the American flag on it. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, it's kind of cool like that. It's reflecting there in the screen. But yeah, you can't play that side, but kind of like a cool etching on that side of the record. And again, these are all tracks that were recorded or off of this album that we're talking about now. So let me actually just put this away, and then we'll get to the rest of the notes. If I can actually get that to go back in the sleeve. There we go. All right, let me grab the notes now. So yeah, that was like a cool little like a side thing, because like I love this album and that was cool. New Rage Against the Machine, basically not new music necessarily, but I don't think any of that stuff had been released before. So the first Rage Against the Machine song I heard was actually, I think it was Bulls on Parade in 1996. That's when I first started taking notice of this band. And I remember seeing like the music video for it. And at the time, it was like the spring or summer of 1996, and I was working at a restaurant. And it was a short order, like breakfast place mostly, but occasionally I would work like the dinner shift. And they had, I think it's called Muzak or whatever, like the kind of like radio, or not radio, commercial-free radio. You basically, there's tons of different kind of like themed stations to choose from. And they always had it on the classic rock station in the restaurant. So I liked the station. I thought it was like good music, like Pink Floyd, The Doors, stuff like that. But when the restaurant closed, the kitchen just got to put on whatever they wanted, because basically the servers had left, and it was just down to the kitchen staff to finish up the last of the dishes, kind of like close down the line and things like that. And I remember one time everybody was just really exhausted. It had been like a long night, and somebody put in the Evil Empire CD and played Rage Against the Machine, Bulls on Parade, and it kind of was just like enough to like re-energize us, at least long enough to get the kitchen clean, because it was just like everybody was kind of just like, it was just that extra bit of energy needed to finish out the night. Just a fun little story about Rage Against the Machine. But then I first heard the album later that year, because I remember I had an art class in high school, and one of my classmates had this. I remember like seeing the image, seeing that it was Rage Against the Machine, and then he was explaining like the photo here on the cover, which is like, I think from 1963 is when that was taken. But kind of explained some of it, and then I think like he had a portable CD player that we had like a headphone splitter, and we were listening to the album while we were doing like whatever our like art assignment was. So that was really cool, and that's kind of like one of the first times I heard some of those songs. I remember I had a friend that had a band, like they mostly did covers. They did some original stuff too, but they did a cover of "Killing in the Name of," which was really fun. So back into some more little facts about this record. I think it hit number 1 on the Billboard Heat Seekers list, which I think is for like more up and coming artists. And then it eventually got to number 45 on the Billboard 200. In 2012, for the album's 20th anniversary, it got reissued in like a box set with like extra tracks, some like DVDs, cool stuff like that. I don't have that, but sounds like it would be a cool kind of thing to get. And a friend of mine and I were supposed to originally see Rage Against the Machine tour some 5 years ago. That tour obviously didn't happen, got postponed due to the lockdowns. And then it kind of sucked because what happened was our date was I think we were going to actually go out to I think we were going to St. Louis or Kansas City to see it. I forget which city it was, but it was one of the earlier dates on the tour. But when they started touring again, like a year or so later, after restrictions started to lift and things like that, they flipped the order of the tour dates. So our date was originally an earlier date in the tour, but when they rescheduled it, they switched the dates around. So the concert that we were supposed to see ended up getting pushed closer to the end of the tour. And unfortunately, that show never happened because I believe earlier in the tour when they started it up again, Zach De La Rocha, lead singer, I think tore his Achilles. I think he did a show or two with the Achilles torn, and then they basically just canceled the rest of the tour after that. Because I mean, even like you don't really want to have like Zach is a very animated kind of lead singer, and you can't like relegate him to like a chair to like sing like "Killing in the Name of" or "Wake Up" or something like that. So yeah, because like I know Dave Grohl did a show of a broken or a series of shows with a broken leg, but like apparently I just can't see Zach De La Rocha sitting still or generally mostly still for an entire show, especially based on how much he jumps around on the stage and things like that. So unfortunately, we never got to see that show. That would have been a lot of fun. And now that does it for the notebook. And now we're going to just jump into our reviews, and we're going to get into our track listing. Let me pull this up here. So the reviews, it's reviewed very well. It shows up on a lot of like greatest albums of all times list and things like that. But for the reviews, Metacritic has it at an 87 out of 100. Looks like it has a 4.5 out of 5 from AllMusic. The Encyclopedia of Popular Music has it at a 4 out of 5. LA Times has it at a 3.5 out of 4, while Mojo has it at a 4 out of 5. NME has it at a 7 out of 10, with a 9.1 out of 10 from Pitchfork. Record Collector has it at a 5 out of 5. Rolling Stone, 4.5 out of 5. Rolling Stone Album Guide has it at a 4 out of 5. And Select has it at a 4 out of 5. And now we're going to move into our track list. So the original version of the album here is 10 tracks, comes in about 52 minutes and 55 seconds. Track 1 is Bomb Track. Just a great track. Pretty much everything on this album is iconic. Like Bomb Track is great. Track 2, one of the most iconic tracks on the album, and one of their probably most iconic tracks ever is Killing in the Name. Especially the ending of the song where it's like "F you, I won't do what you tell me." Like everybody loves just singing that part. I remember like when my friend's band covered it, it was just everybody in the audience was screaming that as well. Track 3 is "Take the Power Back." Track 4 is "Settle for Nothing." Track 5 is "Bullet in the Head." That's a great one. Track 6 is "Know Your Enemy." Track 7, again, another one of my favorite tracks on the album is "Wake Up." Just the intro, like beat to that, and I just love that. It's this even though this isn't from 1992, this song is used like perfectly, in the end credits of the Matrix, the first Matrix film, and absolutely just love the way they incorporate that into the movie. "Wake Up" is probably. It might be my favorite track on the album. Like that and "Killing in the Name," I think are my two favorites. But anyway, after that, we move into track 8, which is "Fistful of Steel." Then track 9, which is "Township Rebellion." And finally, last track is track 10 with "Freedom." So I think my favorite, if I had to pick 3, I'm picking "Wake Up," "Killing in the Name of," and "Bomb Track" as being probably my favorite tracks on the album. It's just an iconic debut. Hard rock. I kind of joked to my friend that I saw a member of Rage live, technically, before he did, kind of. So Brad Wilk, the drummer from Rage Against the Machine, I actually saw him at the Taylor Hawkins tribute concert from the fall of 2022. He played, I forget what track he played with the Foo Fighters, but he was at that tour as well. Yeah, because I think the tour we were supposed to see was Run the Jewels opening for Rage Against the Machine. We eventually did see Run the Jewels a couple years back when they were it was Deltron 3030, Run the Jewels, and Wu-Tang Clan. That was a great show too. But definitely wish I would have been able to see Rage Against the Machine because I don't think there's any plans for them to tour again anytime soon. Hopefully they're not like permanently broken up or anything like that. It would be cool to see them. Sorry, excuse me. But yeah, that's probably gonna do it for this video. Again, this is just an excellent album. Highly recommend checking it out. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. So remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We'll see you again next time for a movie. No idea what that's gonna be yet, and then we'll be back with a video game after that. But yeah, that's gonna do it for now. So thanks again for watching. Take care and have a good one. See ya.